Hello everyone and welcome to Rollin'-ish. I'm Matt, and in today's video we're looking at Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. This was a supplement that came out shortly after the 2014 Player's Handbook. Much like Xanathar's Guide to Everything, it offers additional options, features, and even subclass options for each class. If you haven't done so already, take a look at our class playlist. We have Intro to videos for all the classes showing what you get levels 1 through 20 from your 2014 Player's Handbook. We also have a breakdown of all the subclasses offered by your Player's Handbook, as well as all the subclass options that were offered by Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Looking at Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, we're going to see what it was that it was offering all leading up to the release of the new 2024 Player's Handbooks. So we have a base comparison here. We're looking at the Druid class today, and we're starting with the Circle of Spores Druidic Circle option. This is going to be for the Druid that finds beauty and decay. They see within mold and other fungi the ability to transform lifeless material into abundant, somewhat strange life. So if you really want to lean heavily into your mushroom picking Druid and all things that flow within the circle of life, the Druid Circle of Spores might be a good option for you. When you choose this feature at second level, you unlock the spells that you'll have access to within certain level intervals, as you can see on this table here. We're not going to go through all of these, but right away at second level, you get the necromancy spell Chill Touch. Essentially, you make a ranged spell attack against a creature to assail it with the Chill of the Grave. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 necrotic damage, and it can't regain hit points until the start of your next turn. So essentially, you're doing damage, but you're also preventing it from being able to heal because it can't regain hit points until the start of your next turn. Until then, the hand clings on to the target. If you hit an undead target, it also has disadvantage on attack rolls against you until the end of your next turn. This spell's damage is going to increase by a d8 when you reach 5th level, 11th level, or 17th level. So depending on your Druid level, using this low-level cantrip could deal a pretty heavy punch in terms of the damage that it deals. So that's a pretty good one to have. One of my other favorite spells you'll get access to at 7th level is the Blight spell. Essentially, you're going to be draining the life force from your target, requiring it to make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, the target takes 8d8 necrotic damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. The spell has no effect on undead or constructs. If you target a plant creature or magical plant, it makes the saving throw with disadvantage, and the spell deals max damage. So to play a Circle of Spores Druid who will have an affinity towards certain types of plants, you could look at this in a sense that maybe you're not helpful to all plants. Maybe you're somebody who's going to weed out the garden or target harmful plants, and thus you might be okay as a Druid using a spell like this on a plant, knowing you're going to do max damage. So if you target a non-magical plant that isn't a creature, such as a tree or a shrub, it doesn't make a saving throw, it simply just withers and dies. This is a nice spell to have. It is a 4th level spell, so it's a pretty high valued spell slot, but it's nice to use if you've got, some kind of thorns or brambles blocking your path and you just want to get rid of it quickly to keep your party moving. Blight would take care of that. So those are two of the spells that you have access to starting at 2nd level when you choose this subclass. The next feature that you get on 2nd level is Halo of Spores. When a creature you can see moves into a space within 10 feet of you or starts its turn there, you can use your reaction to deal 1d4 necrotic damage to that creature unless it succeeds on a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC. The necrotic damage increases to 1d6 at 6th level, 1d8 at 10th level, and 1d10 at 14th level. So depending on your level, you're going to be able to do more damage with this Halo of Spores as you go. You'll also get access to Symbiotic Entity at 2nd level. As an action, you can expend the use of your Wild Shape feature to awaken those spores rather than transforming into a beast form, and you gain 4 temporary hit points for each level you have in this class. So at 2nd level, when you get this feature, we're talking about 8 temporary hit points. While this feature is active, you gain the following benefits. First, when you deal your Halo of Spores damage, roll the damage die a second time and add it to the total. So instead of whatever the damage die might be. So at 2nd level, it's going to be that D4. At 6th level, it's going to be the D6. At 10th level, a D8. and so on, like the Halo of Spores feature read. Your melee weapon attacks deal an extra d6 necrotic damage to any target they hit. So this is going to be able to really boost your damage output. These benefits last for 10 minutes until you lose all those temporary hit points or until you use your wild shape again. So that temporary hit point, that floating shield of yours, is essentially when that goes away, before that 10 minutes is up or before you use your wild shape feature again, that's going to affect your symbiotic entity. This is a great feature to have. I love ways to maximize damage output, and this seems like a good one. Fungal, ooh, this sounds gross. Fungal infestation at 6th level. If a beast or humanoid that is small or medium dies within 10 feet of you, you can use your reaction to animate it, causing it to stand up immediately with 1 hit point. The creature uses the zombie stat block. It remains animate for an hour, after which time it collapses and dies. It reminds me of those creatures from, I guess it's The Last of Us? Yeah, like that. In combat, the zombie's turn comes immediately after yours. It obeys your mental commands, and the only action it takes is the attack action, making 1 melee attack. For zombies, it's going to be slam. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you regain all expended uses of it when you finish a long rest. At 10th level, you get Spreading Spores. As a bonus action, while your symbiotic entity feature is active, you can hurl spores up to 30 feet away, where they swirl in a 10-foot cube for a minute. The spores disappear early if you use this feature again, if you dismiss them as a bonus action, or if your symbiotic entity feature is no longer active. When a creature moves into the cube or starts its turn there, the creature takes your Halo of Spores damage unless the creature succeeds on a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC. The creature can take this damage no more than once per turn. While the cube of spores persists, you can't use your Halo of Spores reaction. Okay. Fungal Body at 14th level. You can't be blinded, deafened, frightened, or poisoned, and any critical hit against you counts as a normal hit instead, unless you're incapacitated, as fungal spores in your body alter you. I love that. I think there's nothing more frustrating as a spellcaster than being blinded and not being able to see your target, because a lot of spells are based on a target you can see. Frightened is going to make you move and eventually occur attacks of opportunity. Poison is going to give you disadvantage. So I love that there are conditions that you can avoid. I think the biggest thing is you can't be crit against. I think that's really cool, because I tend to roll very, very high when I DM and really, really bad when I'm a player. And no, I don't fudge my rolls. But that is a great feature to have. Fungal Body. It's like nature is protecting you in this instance. And I love that for a 14th level druid. Okay. Next, we have Circle of Stars. These are druids that are going to be drawn to the power of starlight. This is a good way that you can role play somebody that is going to utilize constellations in the things that they do. Maybe the constellations give you power. Maybe they're telling you something. Maybe they're speaking to you. That's a good way to role play that as well. At 2nd level, the first feature you get is called Star Map. You've created a star chart as part of your heavenly studies. It is a tiny object and can serve as a spellcasting focus for your druid spells. You determine its form by rolling on the star map table or by choosing one. While holding this map, you have the following benefits. So while you're holding this map, you know the guidance cantrip. You have Guiding Bolt prepared. It counts as a druid spell for you and doesn't count against the number of spells that you have prepared. So it's a freebie prepared. Love it. You can cast Guiding Bolt without expending a spell slot. You could do so a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. I love that, because Guiding Bolt is a great spell. Not only does it deal radiant damage when it hits, but it also allows the next attack against that creature to have advantage. So it is a way to damage and buff. And the fact that you could do that a certain amount of times equal to your proficiency bonus without expending a spell slot is great, because once you run out of that, you can continue to use that spell, but you'll use spell slots on it at that point. So it saves your spell slots. This is excellent feature to get at 2nd level. If you lose the map, you can perform a 1-hour ceremony to magically create a replacement. The ceremony can be performed during a short or long rest, and it destroys the previous map. So that's okay. If you lose it, you can always make another and protect the original. Your star map, about the form you can take, there's a nice little table here. You can roll on or choose your favorite for fun. Let's roll. I rolled a 5, a crystal that projects starry patterns when placed before a light. I like that. Shine a light on it, and that's my map. And I can hold my crystal to cast my spells. I think it's actually pretty cool. It's good flavor. You also, at second level, get a feature called Starry Form. As a bonus action, you can expend a use of your wild shape to take on a starry form rather than transforming into a beast. While in your starry form, you retain your game statistics, but your body becomes luminous, your joints glimmer like stars, and glowing lines connect them on a star chart. This form sheds bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. The form lasts for 10 minutes. It ends early if you dismiss it, no action required, are incapacitated to die or use this feature again. When you assume your starry form, choose the following constellation glimmers on your body. Your choice gives you certain benefits. Okay, so when you do this and you use your starry form, you can do an archer. And if you choose archer, a constellation of an archer appears on you, kind of like a tattoo. When you activate this form, and as a bonus action on your subsequent turns while it lasts, you make a ranged spell attack, hurling a luminous arrow that targets one creature within 60 feet of you on a hit. The attack deals radiant damage equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. Love that. So it's literally a bonus action bow and arrow shot, but it comes out of the constellation that is on your body. That's wicked cool. Okay. Chalice. A constellation of life-giving goblet appears on you. Whenever you cast a spell using a spell slot that restores hit points to a creature, like Cure Wounds, you or another creature within 30 feet of you can regain hit points equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. So when you're healing maybe yourself or someone else with a healing spell, you or someone else within 30 feet of you can also regain hit points 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. I love that. It's a twofer. Dragon. A constellation of a wise dragon appears on you. When you make an intelligence or wisdom check of a constitution saving throw to maintain concentration, so either one of those things, you could treat a roll of 9 or lower on the d20 as a 10, including ones, because ones on an ability check is just a 1. It's not a critical fail. Ability checks once your total. So any intelligence or wisdom check or a constitution saving throw, this spell reads to me like it's negating the critical miss on the con save, since ones on saving throws are critical failures. But this reads like, when you make an intelligence or wisdom check or a constitution saving throw to maintain concentration on a spell, which acts like an ability check, you can treat a roll of 9 or lower on the d20 as a 10. Then you can add your modifiers. Love that. I think that's a great feature. Cosmic Omen. At 6th level, when you finish a long rest, you can consult your star map for omens. When you do so, roll a die. Until you finish your next long rest, you gain access to special reaction based on whether you rolled an even or an odd number on the die. It says roll a die. It doesn't say what die. So essentially, you've got a 50-50 shot, odds or evens, on any die that you roll, doesn't matter how many sides it is, to get woe or wheel. If you roll an even number or a wheel, whenever a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is about to make an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, you can use your reaction to roll a d6 and add the number rolled to the total. Wow, so I can really help somebody with that. Woe or odd. Whenever a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is about to make an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, you can use your reaction to roll a d6 and subtract the number rolled from the total. So I could do this to my enemies on an odd number. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. At 10th level, you get Twinkling Constellations. The 1d8 of the Archer and the Chalice becomes 2d8, and while the Dragon is active, you have a flying speed of 20 feet and can hover. This is based on your starry form, so if you're taking the Archer or Chalice, you get an extra d8 of damage. If you're taking the Dragon, while it's active, you can have a 20-foot fly or hover speed. That's pretty cool. Moreover, at the start of each of your turns, while in your starry form, you can change which constellation glimmers on your body. Wow, so at 10th level, I could just start changing them while they're already on my body, which form is going to be active. I love that. That is versatility to a T. Full of Stars at 14th level. While in your starry form, you become partially incorporeal, giving you resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. What a great thing to have as a spellcaster. You get that at 14th level. Just resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. I think that's excellent and a good way to protect your druid. This is a really great feature to have. There's so much flavor in here. I can see so many great uses of these glowing constellations on your body, and the fact that this is happening for a druid is on brand for druids. So I like that a lot. Okay, Circle of Wildfire is next. Might look a little bit familiar. to the Critical Role fans as Fern plays a Circle of Wildfire Druid. This is going to be a Druid that understands that destruction is sometimes the precursor of creation, such as when a forest fire promotes later growth. So if that is your vibe, this is going to be for you. Fire can cleanse and help create and destroy something that is lost. So this is a good way you can roleplay that. When you choose this subclass at 2nd level, you get access to certain spells at certain level points. A lot of them have to deal with fire, which is great, like Burning Hands. It's a 15-foot cone, dealing 3d6 fire on a failed dexterity saving throw, or half as much on a success. This is something you can cast up, additional damage out of it. There are some spells in here that also heal. So in that vein of fire can destroy, fire can clean, fire can also heal and promote new growth, you have access to things like Cure Wounds or Revivify to bring someone back who just died in the last minute. There are some other great spells in here like Scorching Ray, Plant Growth, Fire Shield, Flame Strike, Mass Cure Wounds. This very much is a collection of spells that are available for your Druid to use in that sort of spirit of starting anew. So that's very, very cool. Also at 2nd level, you get the feature to summon a Wildfire Spirit. As an action, you can expend one use of your Wild Shape to summon your Wildfire Spirit rather than you taking a form. The spirit appears in an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you. Each creature within 10 feet of the spirit, other than you, when it appears, must succeed on a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC or take 2d6 fire damage. Be careful where you place this. It says each creature within 10 feet of the spirit, not friendly creature. Each creature. So if you've got teammates within 10 feet of where your spirit's going to pop up, they too will have to make the dex save or take damage. The spirit is friendly to you and your companions and obeys your commands. It comes with its own stat block down below we'll look at in just a sec. You determine the spirit's appearance. Some spirits take the form of a humanoid figure made of gnarled branches covered in flame. Awesome, like a flaming twig blade or something. While others look like beasts wreathed in fire. I know Critical Role, when Fern uses this, she produces Mister. He's a little, I think he's like a capuchin monkey, but he's made of flame and he throws little poops, or his flaming seeds. In combat, the spirit shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. The only action it can take is dodge, unless you burn a bonus action to command it to do something else. So it's going to take your bonus action to get your Wildfire Spirit to do anything but dodge. So if you want it to attack, it can, but it costs you your bonus action. It'll last for about an hour until it drops to 0 hit points, or until you use this feature to summon the spirit again, or until you die. Your Wildfire Spirit is going to have an AC of 13. Its hit points are going to be 5 plus 5 times your Druid level. So if you are, I think you get this feature at 2nd level, so 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15, so at 2nd level, your Wildfire Spirit will have 15 HP. It can walk 30 feet and fly 30. It's immune to fire, immune to being charmed, frightened, grappled, prone, or restrained. Has dark vision of 60 feet. It can produce a flame seed, which is its ranged attack. You could target one creature, ranges 60 feet. The damage is 1d6 plus your proficiency bonus, fire damage. It can also fiery teleport. The spirit and each willing creature of your choice within 5 feet of it. Each willing creature. So if you surround it with your party, and you're all within 5 feet, it can teleport itself and you up to 15 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Then each creature within 5 feet of the space that the spirit left must succeed on a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC or take 1d6 plus your proficiency bonus fire damage. So anybody you leave behind, maybe enemies, get burned by the flames that carry you and willing creatures away to teleport, burning those who are left behind. Pretty awesome little companion that, again, is very on brand for the Druid. At 6th level, you get Enhanced Bond. Whenever you cast a spell that deals fire damage or restores hit points while your Wildfire Spirit is summoned, roll a d8 and you gain a bonus equal to the number rolled to 1 damage or healing roll of that spell. So if you're casting a spell that deals fire damage or casting a spell that heals, roll a d8. You get that much extra damage on the fire spell or that much extra healing on the healing spell. Love it. In addition, when you cast a spell with a range other than self, the spell can originate from you or your Wildfire Spirit. So if you're farther away from a a teammate or an NPC you're trying to help, but your spirit is closer, you can have that originate from your spirit to get that extra range. It's like extending your range. Love it. At 10th level, you get Cauterizing Flames. When a small or larger creature dies within 30 feet of you or your wildfire spirit, a harmless spectral flame springs forth in the dead creature's space and flickers there for a minute. When a creature you can see enters that space, you can use your reaction to extinguish the spectral flame there and either heal the creature or deal fire damage to it. The healing or damage equals 2d10 plus your wisdom modifier. I love this for killing something in a doorway. I don't know why my brain goes there, but like if more enemies want to come out, you can burn them. Or if you and your teammates want to move into the next room, you can heal them. It all depends on where that creature dies. So if they die in an advantageous place on the map, you could literally instruct your players like, walk over there, walk through that space, and you'll heal. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Cauterizing Flames. Option of heal or hurt. Love it. You know what you could also do? Suppose there's an enemy you want to interrogate, and you don't want to kill them, and you have no idea where they're at right now, health-wise. Maybe the barbarian just hit them and they're on the verge of dying. Maybe you can heal them a little bit, enough for them to continue the conversation of your interrogation. That's another way to use that as well. Blazing Revival. If the spirit is within 120 feet of you when you are reduced to 0 hit points and thereby fall unconscious, you can cause the spirit to drop to 0 hit points. You then regain half your hit points and immediately rise to your feet. But if I'm going to drop, and my wildfire spirit is active, I can have my spirit drop instead, and I regain half my hit points. What if I took 20 damage, but I heal 70 because I have 140 hit points? You know what I mean? Like, totally worth it to get half my hit points back. It's almost like you want to antagonize the enemy to hit you, knowing you're going to drop, and you're going to drop your spirit and then heal yourself up to half your hit points. I love that so much. That provides a great roleplay moment between player and DM that saves your party, kills you, but heals you. So it's getting the enemy to waste a turn in that regard. I love that. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. That makes a ton of sense. Circle of Wildfire. This might be my favorite Druid class. Again, the more I do these, the more I want to rank them. But I don't, with the new book coming out, maybe we hold off. But these are some great options. So if you're playing a Druid and you want to spice things up and be a little pyro Druid, that's cool. I'm really into this Circle of Stars Druid and the constellations and how you can use them to your advantage. Even the Circle of Spores, making friends with, Campestry or Myconids. That is right up your alley. So these are all great options. Have fun building your Druid using this supplement if you're still going to play 5e when the new book comes out. But we're going to take a look in our next video at the Fighter class. But until then, keep rolling those dice, and we'll see you at the table.